I discount it, say, by 50%, and I have to live within that 50%.
Ideally, at least $100 is my zero balance. But even maybe $1,000 for a clean $1,000 is my actual zero balance. $15 meal, it now became $25, $30.
Both of us have very different styles, and this just shows you that there isn't one style or one size that fits all. Personally, the way I manage my financial is I like to keep a very minimalistic style of credit cards or bank accounts. So typically I have only one checking account that I know is going to be paying my bills. I have two credit cards, and then I have one savings account that is a high yield savings account. My financial direction or strategy is always going to be more diversified in how my money will make money for me. I have a mix of portfolio from index to stock options to different investments to real estate, just so that way I don't have all of my eggs in one basket. I always live in my means, and I always know my expenses. I know my fixed expenses, and then I have my variable expenses. Usually it's like leisure or groceries, gas, things that I know I can be able to be flexible with when it comes down to cutting costs for that month if I need to, or being able to splurge, whether it's a vacation or gift, whatever it may be. I always keep a buffer. I never spend more than what I can make. And I have a bigger buffer than maybe most people. I like to have a buffer of at least 25 to 35% that I don't go across. And it's truly a mindset for me. My mindset is always focusing on once my bills are paid and say the remainder of the financial I have to play with, I discount it, say, by 50%, and I have to live within that 50% to be able to feel comfortable with my financial gains. So, how about you, Spills?
So the most important thing for me, first off, is when I get a paycheck, I always move money from that account that it comes into for this purpose. So perhaps 10% of the money that comes in, I'm going to go directly and move it into my investment account. So it's out of sight, out of mind. 50%, 60%, whatever it is for my expenses, go into an expense account that I know I need the money there for the month for the expenses. And then 10, 20% for long-term savings, maybe 10% for some kind of long-term goal that I have. So I always subdivide my money. And that helps me kind of keep a focus of how much money I have. And I always try to have at least 10% of each paycheck on the side where I can use it for just random stuff. Just something that I don't really expect to do, but I have it available for me. The other thing that I do is I have a buffer for all my checking accounts. So I never let a checking account reach anywhere near $0. Ideally, clean $1,000 is my actual zero balance. So I don't let my checking accounts reach under that, just in case I forget some kind of subscription was on or I forgot to cancel something. It hits me right under 1,000. I don't have to worry about dealing with the bank. I just my own money. The other one that I do is I go over an Excel sheet that I have all my monthly expenses, all my subscriptions, an estimate of how much I spend for groceries, for going out and eating. I have that on an Excel spreadsheet. So I know every time I have a paycheck, at least this much money is going to go out each month for kind of the expected things. And the last, probably the most important thing is living within your means or living below your means. One of the most important things that I do is every time I got a promotion and a raise, I didn't adjust my lifestyle. I didn't go out and get a brand new car. I didn't go out to get a bigger house. For some people, they like to spend. That's great. You have hobbies and you want to spend. That's great. But I would suggest, and what I do is I try to live far below my means. So when you have a rainy day, you have more than enough to cover yourself and not stress about going from job to job.
Yeah. You know, if we have to think back at some of our personal experience, we're not saying that you're not going to have off month or off times, right? There are definitely times where I have exceeded my spend to my comfort level, whether I wanted to or not. I may have splurged on a vacation or whatnot, right? But I also have the mentality of paying myself back. And what that means to me is that, for example, if this month I overspend by X, the next month I am going to try my hardest to underspend by the same amount to see if I can balance it out. May not always be doable, but I think what's important is, and the common factor between us feels, I think, is the goal. We have a financial goal when it comes down to how the money is being utilized, whether it's expenses or strategy or investment. So that way, you're always trying to achieve a goal and try to stay not necessarily frugal, but trying to stay within your comfort level. Um,
I can't tell you how many times, Kiana, I've thought to myself, even in the recent months, where I'm like, oh, let me DoorDash. And then I think to myself, hold on, you know, not a good idea. And if you look at it, like I can go to the store and buy something for $15, whatever, which
no.
you DoorDash it or Uber it, and it's like an extra $10 now. Now, so like $10 meal outside or $15 meal, it now became $25, $30. So a lot of times it's really just, you have to be disciplined. Like, yeah, it's going to suck. Like to be within a
Compromise.
budget, you have to compromise.
I cannot say I am disciplined when it comes to food. I think it comes down to lifestyle. Spills is probably very much more disciplined than I am from his way of lifestyle with food or anything. For me, I am definitely not that. I like convenience and I have a very busy life with kids and everything. So, and at the end, I just like food. Like I get just anything I cannot be disciplined on, it's gonna be food. But then you also have to think about what makes you happy too, right? With us sharing our personal experiences, we're not saying we have the perfect formula. We figured everything out. No, this is what has worked for us to be able to have our definition of financial stability. But you do only live once. You gotta do what makes you happy as well. And that also means taking care of yourself and self-love, and maybe that means spending money and splurging here and there. I think the key here is like don't make it a constant habit. So again, it's just living in your financial means. Know where your money's going, what you're spending on, and when it's time to compromise and cut back or sacrifice, be willing to do that.